Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode on our channel. Today, we'll dive into the incredible story of one of history's most legendary figures, Genghis Khan. His name struck terror wherever he went, and his conquests left only destruction in their wake. He built the largest empire in the world, but at a great cost. It's said he killed at least 40 million people, men, women, children, even animals. No one was spared. Kingdoms collapsed, cities burned, and entire civilizations were destroyed. But how did a poor boy from a harsh land become history's most feared warrior? How did a child with nothing come to rule half the world? This is the real story of Genghis Khan, a tale of power, betrayal, bloodshed, and destiny. Get ready for a journey through time that's not only fascinating, but also perfect for improving your English. Stay tuned until the end to discover how this extraordinary tale can inspire you, teach you, and change your perspective on life. Now, let's begin. Our story begins in 1162, in the cold, endless grasslands of Mongolia. Life was harsh. There were no comforts, no warmth, no safety. People lived in small tents, moved constantly, and fought over food and land. In this brutal world, a boy named Temujin was born, the boy who would one day be called Genghis Khan. Temujin's father, Yesugei, was a tribal chief and a strong warrior. When Temujin was born, Yesugei had just defeated a rival leader named Temujin Uj. To celebrate his victory, Yesugei named his son after his enemy, as a way to show dominance. From the moment Temujin opened his eyes, he faced a world of war and bloodshed. Survival on the Mongolian plains was not for the weak. There were no cities, no schools, no hospitals, only open land, violent tribes, and freezing winters. If you were weak, you died. If you were strong, you fought. Temujin grew up in a small family tent with his parents, 3 brothers, a sister, and a half-brother. They barely had enough food, surviving on horse milk and whatever wild animals they could catch. In Mongolia, one rule governed life. If you're strong, you lead. If you're weak, you die. This harsh rule would soon change Temujin's life forever. When Temujin was about 9 years old, his father was poisoned by enemies. Yesugei had eaten food from a rival tribe, not knowing it was laced with poison. He collapsed, coughing blood and trembling. With his last breath, he looked at Temujin and said, "Son, you must be strong. Never trust anyone. If you are weak, they will kill you." Then he died. Left alone, Temujin's family faced betrayal. Their own tribe turned against them, casting them out. Temujin, his siblings, and his mother, Holun, were abandoned. They became beggars, surviving on rats, birds, and even insects. The harsh Mongolian winters froze their fingers and cracked their lips. But Temujin never forgot his father's words, "You must be strong." As time passed, Temujin grew colder and tougher. His older half-brother, Begta, tried to dominate the family, hoarding food and leaving the others to starve. Temujin's anger boiled over. One day, when Begta took their food again, Temujin picked up a bow and arrow and killed him. He felt no regret. Staring at his brother's lifeless body, Temujin told himself, "If I want to survive, I must kill. If I want power, I must take it." At that moment, he became a warrior. At age 15, Temujin was captured by a rival tribe. They shackled him and treated him as a slave. But Temujin waited patiently for his chance. One night, when the guards were asleep, he broke free. He grabbed a club, killed a guard, and ran into the freezing Mongolian night. Barefoot, bleeding and weak, he kept running. When he finally reached his mother, he whispered, "I will never be weak again. I will build my own tribe. I will take my revenge." This was the start of Temujin's real journey. He had escaped his enemies. He had killed his brother. He had survived hunger, cold, and betrayal. But he was still alone. He had no army, no power, and no tribe. But he had something more important, a dream. He wanted to unite all the Mongolian tribes and become the most powerful leader in history. But before he could rule, he had to fight, suffer, and prove himself. Temujin knew that he could not win alone. He needed strong warriors, people who would stand by him. One day, he met a young warrior named Jamuka. They were the same age, both smart and strong. They became blood brothers, following the Mongolian tradition where two people mix their blood and swear loyalty to each other. Jamuka and Temujin trained together, hunted together, and dreamed of ruling together. But fate had other plans. At 16, Temujin got married. His wife's name was Bort. She was beautiful, smart, and strong, just like him. Borte believed in Temujin and told him, "You are different from other men. You are destined to be great." Her words gave him strength, but their happiness didn't last long. One night, while Temujin was away, a rival tribe called the Merkits attacked his camp. They burned the tents, stole the horses, and kidnapped Borte. When Temujin returned, he found everything destroyed and his wife gone. He fell to his knees, clenched his fists, and vowed, "I will find you, Borte, and I will destroy those who took you." Temujin needed help. He went to Jamuka and another powerful leader, Togrul Khan, and asked them to fight with him. "Help me save my wife," he pleaded. They agreed. With an army of 20,000 warriors, they rode across the Mongolian plains, found the Merkits, and attacked. The battle was brutal. Arrows filled the sky, swords clashed, and men screamed. Temujin fought like a wild beast, cutting down anyone in his path. The Merkits were defeated. Temujin killed their leader and took back Borte. When he saw her, his heart softened. She ran into his arms and whispered, "I knew you would come." But Borte had a secret. She was pregnant. Temujin didn't know if the child was his or the Merkit leader's. Still, he accepted the baby as his own. His family was together again, but this war was just the beginning. Temujin and Jamuka had been like brothers, but as Temujin grew stronger, Jamuka grew jealous. Temujin believed in loyalty and discipline. He treated all his soldiers equally. But Jamuka followed the old ways, where only nobles had power. Soon, their friendship broke. Mongolia divided into two sides: Temujin's army, who wanted change, and Jamuka's army, who wanted to keep the old ways. The two former brothers became enemies. In 1186, the two armies clashed. Temujin had 20,000 warriors. Jamuka had 30,000. The battle was bloody. Temujin's soldiers were disciplined and moved like one force. For a moment, it seemed Temujin might win. But then, Jamuka tricked him, sending thousands of warriors to attack from behind. Temujin's army was trapped and defeated. Temujin escaped, but 10,000 of his men were captured. Jamuka did something horrific. He tortured them. He boiled his enemies alive, broke their bones, and beheaded them. This was a mistake. The Mongolian people saw Jamuka's cruelty and began to fear him. Many left his side and secretly joined Temujin. Temujin learned from his defeat. He swore, "I will never lose again." This time, he would return stronger. Temujin changed the way Mongolians fought. Loyalty became more important than blood. In the past, only nobles could become generals. Temujin changed that. He said, "It does not matter who your father is. If you are strong and loyal, you will lead." This made common warriors love him. He also introduced discipline and unity. Instead of fighting in small groups, he organized his army into units of 10, 100, 1,010, 00. They fought as one. Temujin also taught his men speed and strategy. Instead of fighting face to face, they used surprise, attacks, tricks, and fear. He turned his warriors into an unstoppable force, like a pack of wolves. And soon, he would use them to take revenge. Years later, Temujin returned with his new, unstoppable army. Jamuka's forces, however, were no longer loyal. Many of them betrayed Jamuka and joined Temujin. Jamuka had no escape. His own men captured him and brought him to Temujin. Everyone expected Temujin to torture Jamuka, just as Jamuka had tortured Temujin's men. But Temujin did something unexpected. He looked at Jamuka and said, "You were once my brother. I will not make you suffer." Then he ordered a quick and painless death for Jamuka. The Mongolian tribes saw this act of mercy and respected Temujin even more. For the first time, all of Mongolia began to unite under one leader. In 1206, the Mongolian tribes gathered. They chose Temujin as their great leader. They gave him a new name, Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. But Genghis Khan didn't want to rule only Mongolia. He looked beyond the horizon and whispered, "The world shall be mine." With that, the greatest conquest in history began. Genghis Khan set his sights on China. The Chinese kingdoms were powerful, but they were divided into different dynasties. The Western Shire in the west, the Jin in the north, and the Song in the south. Genghis Khan decided to attack the Jin first, as they had insulted him before when he was a young leader. He sent a message to the Jin emperor asking for trade, but the emperor replied, "You are just a barbarian. You are nothing compared to us." Genghis Khan never forgot insults. He waited years for the right moment. In 1211, Genghis Khan and his army of 100,000 warriors attacked the Jin dynasty. The Mongols moved like a storm, burning villages, cutting off food supplies, and using fear to make people surrender. By 1215, they reached Beijing, the Jin capital. However, the city had huge walls, and the Mongols were not used to attacking walled cities. So Genghis Khan changed his strategy. He cut off all food supplies, starving the people inside. He used Chinese engineers to build siege weapons and sent spies to create chaos within the city. After months of suffering, Beijing surrendered. Genghis Khan and his warriors entered the city like gods. Some say over 1 million people were killed in the attack. The Mongols burned Beijing to the ground. This was Genghis Khan's message to the world. No one insults the Mongols and survives. After defeating the Jin dynasty, Genghis Khan looked west. At that time, the Khwarezm Empire, modern-day Iran, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, was one of the richest empires in the world. The Khwarezm Shah ruled over millions of people. Genghis Khan wanted peace, not war. He sent 500 Mongolian merchants with a message, "Let us be partners. Mongolia and Khwarezm will trade in peace." But the Shah made a terrible mistake. He killed all the merchants and sent their heads back to Genghis Khan. This was a declaration of war. Furious, Genghis Khan sent 200,000 Mongols in 1219 to destroy Khwarezm forever. The Mongols moved at lightning speed, using their famous horse archery and hit-and-run tactics. The Shah tried to fight back, But the Mongols were too fast, too disciplined, and too ruthless. The greatest cities of Khwarezm, such as Samarkand and Bukhara, fell within days. Before burning Bukhara, Genghis Khan stood before the people and said, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent me upon you." Over 1.5 million people were killed. The Mongols burned cities, poisoned wells, and killed every soldier. The Shah ran away like a coward, but Genghis Khan hunted him down. With Khwarezm's fall, the entire Middle East feared Genghis Khan. By 1223, Genghis Khan's empire stretched from China to Persia, but he wanted more. His army moved towards Russia and Eastern Europe, defeating the Russians, Hungarians, and Bulgarians. However, in 1226, a betrayal in Western China forced Genghis Khan to return home. The Western Shia dynasty, ruled by the Tangut people, had promised to support him, but when Genghis Khan was busy fighting in the West, they stopped paying tribute. Enraged, Genghis Khan personally led his army against the Tangut people. Despite being in his 60s, he destroyed their cities, burned their temples, and killed their royal family. By 1227, the Western Shia dynasty no longer existed. During this war, Genghis Khan fell from his horse and was badly injured. Some say he never fully recovered. Others believe he was sick or poisoned. In August 1227, the great conqueror took his last breath. Before he died, he gave a final command: "Do not tell anyone about my death until we finish this war." Even in death, he remained a warrior. His body was buried in a secret location, and the Mongols killed anyone who saw the funeral to keep it hidden forever. To this day, no one knows where Genghis Khan is buried. The Mongols kept it a closely guarded secret. Some say they killed anyone who saw the grave, covered it with horses, or even diverted a river to hide it. Many believe he lies in a Mongolian mountain, but no one has ever found the tomb. The mystery remains unsolved. Though his grave is unknown, Mongolia honors him with a giant statue near Ulaanbaatar. It shows him riding a horse made of shining steel. It is the largest equestrian statue in the world. Visitors can enter the statue and stand on the horse's head to view the beautiful surroundings. This statue symbolizes Mongolia's pride and history. Despite being a brutal conqueror, Genghis Khan had a softer side when it came to women. His first wife, Bort, was his most trusted companion. Even though she was kidnapped by the Merkits, Genghis Khan loved her deeply. Borte bore him 4 sons: Jochi, Chagatai, Ogadai, and Tolui. Even though Genghis Khan accepted Jochi as his son, some Mongols believed he was not the real father because Borte had been kidnapped by the Merkits. This caused tensions within the family. Genghis Khan believed in creating alliances through marriage. Each time he conquered new lands, he chose intelligent, beautiful women from different tribes to be his wives or concubines. His most famous wives included Yisui and Yisugen from the Tatar tribe, Kulan from the Merkit tribe, Chaka from China, and Gurban Bisu from Persia. He had over 500 wives and concubines, and it is believed that millions of people alive today are his direct descendants. However, Borte remained his most influential queen. Though we often hear about Genghis Khan's sons, his daughters also played a crucial role in his empire. Instead of treating them as ordinary women, he used them as rulers and strategists. When Genghis Khan defeated a kingdom, he didn't always kill its royal family immediately. Instead, he would tell the king, "You can keep your kingdom, but you must marry your daughter to me or my sons." By doing so, he ensured that his family gained control over these territories. Once the daughter became his wife, he often sent her back to rule the kingdom on his behalf. Genghis Khan would then send her husband, the former king, into battle, where he would eventually die, leaving the kingdom firmly under his family's rule. Some of Genghis Khan's most notable daughters were Alakai Beki, who ruled over the Tangut people and introduced laws that helped women, Torgheni, who held immense power after her father's death and influenced the empire under her son Ogedei's rule, Alautun, who governed the Uyghur people, and Kutulun, a fierce warrior and a political force in her own right. These daughters were as determined and ruthless as their father, ensuring no rebellions arose against Mongol rule. Genghis Khan is believed to have fathered hundreds of children. Today, genetic studies suggest that 1 in every 200 men worldwide carries his DNA. Even though Genghis Khan died in 1227, his empire continued to expand under his sons and grandsons. Hulagu Khan, one of his grandsons, conquered Baghdad in 1258, ending the Islamic Golden Age by killing the last Abbasid caliph. Another grandson, Batu Khan, led the Mongols into Russia, Poland, and Hungary, winning key battles like Legnica in 1902-141. Meanwhile, Kublai Khan, yet another grandson, founded the Yuan dynasty in China, becoming the first non-Chinese emperor to rule the entire country. His empire was the largest contiguous land empire in history, covering 22% of the Earth's landmass. He reopened the Silk Road, enabling trade between China, the Middle East, and Europe, which allowed explorers like Marco Polo to travel eastward. He promoted religious tolerance, protecting Buddhists, Christians, and Muslims. He also introduced the Yasa legal code, a strict but fair set of laws that maintained order across his massive empire. Genghis Khan's life story, rising from a poor, betrayed boy to a ruler of the largest empire in history, offers valuable lessons. He showed that determination, strategic thinking, and relentless ambition can overcome any hardship. His story reminds us that true power lies not just in strength, but in strategy and vision. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on more amazing stories and lessons. Don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you found most interesting or surprising about Genghis Khan's life. We'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.